Welcome back to my channel Knowledge Chronicle.
Yesterday, we explored the fascinating world of populations in part 1. And today, get ready to dive into the most dynamic and action-packed part of population ecology. Yes, we're talking about population interactions. Let's begin part 2. Can you imagine a forest with only tigers? Or an ocean with only whales? Sounds impossible, right? Because no species exists in complete isolation. Even plants, which make their own food, rely on soil microbes for nutrients and insects or animals for pollination. In nature, every organism interacts with plants, animals, or even microbes. And these interactions are vital for survival, balance, and evolution. These are known as interspecific interactions between populations of different species. To simplify, scientists use symbols to indicate how these interactions affect the species involved. Plus means beneficial, minus means harmful, and 0 is neutral. Now let's break down each type with examples. One species benefits, the other is harmed. Predation is not just about lions and deer. Even a sparrow eating a seed is a predator. Herbivores are also predators for plants. But predators are not villains. They control prey populations, preventing overpopulation, and maintain biodiversity by reducing competition. Example: the prickly pear cactus invaded Australian lands rapidly. It was finally controlled by introducing a cactus-feeding moth, its natural predator. Case study: when the starfish Pisaster was removed from American rocky shores, over 10 species of invertebrates disappeared. Why? Because Pisaster kept their competitors in check. Interesting fact: some prey evolved defense strategies, camouflage, like insects or frogs blending with the environment. Poison, for example. Monarch butterflies taste horrible due to chemicals from poisonous weeds they eat as caterpillars. Chemical warfare in plants. Thorns in cactus, cardiac glycosides in Calotropis, and chemicals like nicotine, caffeine, and opium evolved to repel herbivores. Both species are harmed as they fight for the same resource. It's not always between similar species. Even flamingos and fishes in South America compete for zooplankton. Lab example: Gauss's experiment. 2 species of paramecium competed in a limited space. The stronger one eliminated the other. This led to the competitive exclusion principle. Real example: on Scotland's coasts, Balanus, a larger barnacle, pushes out Chatamulus, the smaller one. But modern ecology says species don't always eliminate one another. They often coexist by partitioning resources. Example: 5 warbler bird species live on the same tree but feed in different zones at different times, avoiding direct conflict. Parasites benefit, while hosts are harmed. Parasites are honestly everywhere, from plants to animals. They're often host-specific and co-evolve with their hosts over time. Now, let's talk about some cool adaptations in parasites. They lose sensory organs they don't need because, well, they don't have to see or move much. They have suckers or hooks to hold onto their hosts, and sometimes no digestive system at all. They just absorb pre-digested nutrients. Plus, they have super high reproduction rates to survive inside hostile hosts. For example, ectoparasites like lice on humans, ticks on dogs, or even the cuscuta plant on hedges. And then there are endoparasites. The malarial parasite needs a mosquito as a vector, while the liver fluke needs both a snail and a fish. Cuscuta is a wild one. It has no leaves or chlorophyll and lives entirely off its host. Brood parasitism is another fascinating trick. The core lays its eggs in a crow's nest, and its eggs look almost identical to the crow's. That's a brilliant evolutionary move. In commensalism, one species benefits and the other is unaffected. Some neat examples: orchids grow on mango trees, getting height and sunlight, while the mango tree is totally unaffected. Barnacles hitch a ride on whales and travel the oceans for free. Cattle egrets hang out with cattle, eating insects that the cattle stir up while grazing. And clownfish? They gain protection from sea anemones, which really don't mind at all. Now let's move on to mutualism. Here, both species benefit. It's a win-win for everyone. For example, lichens are a partnership between fungus and algae, or cyanobacteria. Mycorrhizae are fungi that team up with plant roots. Fungi help absorb minerals, and in return, plants provide sugars. Pollination and seed dispersal are honestly fascinating examples too. Plants offer nectar or fruits, and animals act as pollinators or dispersers. But you know, nature has its own rules. Cheaters are avoided. That's why mutualists co-evolve together. Take fig trees and wasps, for example. One fig tree species can only be pollinated by one wasp species. The wasp lays its eggs inside the fig, and its larvae eat some of the seeds. In return, the fig gets pollinated. Orchid deception is another cool case. The Ophrys orchid tricks male bees by mimicking the look of female bees. The bee tries to mate, and without realizing it, pollinates the flower. Now that is some next-level biological mimicry. These interactions, predation, parasitism, mutualism, competition, commensalism, are really the threads that weave ecosystems together. Without them, life would honestly be chaotic or even impossible. Nature is not just about survival, but also about balance, co-evolution, and adaptation. If you enjoyed today's deep dive into population interactions, then hit that like button. Don't forget to share this with your friends and subscribe to Knowledge Chronicle for more content that makes learning fun and meaningful. Your one like, share, and subscribe will help us create more valuable content. See you in the next episode. Until then, stay curious and stay learning.